Skeletal muscle is organized in a very specific manner, right? So the skeletal muscle is made up of proteins that are organized into sort of these myofilaments, right? And if we look at a cross section, we'll have all of these myofilaments like this. Okay. And those myofilaments make up a muscle cell. So that's going to be surrounded by a membrane, right? So the plasma membrane of the muscle cell. Okay. Now, each individual muscle cell is surrounded by a thin band of connective tissue, and this is what we refer to as the endomysium. Okay, so we're going to take a whole bunch of these, right? And there's going to be a whole bunch of muscle cells that make up a muscle, obviously, right? So let's just draw sort of a couple of these. Not going to draw a whole bunch, right? But we're just going to draw a couple. Like so. We'll put plasma membrane around all those. Like so. And each one of those, right, is going to be surrounded by the endomysium. So that band of connective tissue. Like so. All right. Now, a group of these muscle cells is sort of going to be grouped together, and it's going to be surrounded by another band of connective tissue. So it's going to be sort of surrounded like this, like so, and grouped together. And this grouping is what we refer to as a fascicle, right? And that fascicle is surrounded by a band of connective tissue called the paramecium, okay? So then what you have is that you're going to have multiple fascicles. So I'm just going to sort of simplify some muscle cells over here, simplify some muscle cells over here, simplify some over here, like so. And then maybe we'll draw some up here and some up here. Like so. And each one of those, right, it's going to be grouped into its own fascicle. So it's going to be surrounded by that paramecium, like so. Okay. Now it's the fascicles that are all grouped together, and they are surrounded by another band of connective tissue, right, which is called the epimecium. Okay, and it is the epimecium that surrounds the whole muscle. So this would be the entire muscle. So in purple, we have our epimecium, which is the most superficial layer of connective tissue. Okay. In the dark blue, we have the paramecium, which is sort of the middle layer of that connective tissue. Okay. And then in light blue, we have the endomysium, and that is sort of the deepest layer of that connective tissue, right? And so your endomysium surrounds a myofiber. Okay. Your paramecium surrounds a fascicle, and the epimecium surrounds the entire muscle. Okay, so you have the three layers of connective tissue, right? And that groups the individual muscle cells, then that groups the fascicles to make the entire muscle itself.